All praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson going into how people don't really believe that Esau will take it there. All right, people don't really believe that Esau will make mandatory the thing that we are saying he's going to make mandatory. All right, they think that he wouldn't do that because they believe that he's not Esau. Right? They believe that he's the Englishman, that he's the Swedish man, that he's the Caucasian man, that he's the Russian man. They believe that he's the Swedish man, right? They believe that he's just a politician and an MP, right? They believe that he's just a president. They don't believe that he's Esau, right? They don't believe that it's Esau doing that. They think that all the horrible crimes that they've seen be committed by these people around the world, they think that that's a different race of people and that that's a different nation of people. They don't understand that the people that are alive right now that descended from those people are trying to perfect what their forefathers couldn't do, right? They're trying to perfect slavery. And the method that they've came up with in their mind is a method that Yahweh's really put in their mind, right? It's something that Yahweh really put there because that was something that Yahweh was going to use to fulfill his will. Yeah, it's part of a thing that they could use to fulfill their will really also. But really, it's fulfilling Yahweh's will because Yahweh's going to use it to sift who believes in him and who don't. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Now, when you ask people what the mark is, right, what the charagma is, they don't want to accept that. They don't want to talk about that, or they make stupid faces and they can't. They don't want to accept it, man. Right? They don't want to. They don't want to hear what that could be. They don't want to think about what that could possibly be, right? And when you tell them what it is, all right, that is the RFID, that is the CHIP, right? Then you start to see that they almost mock it, and they think it's funny. They think, nah, they would never do that, right? But they've already forgot what happened 3 years ago. These people, they forgot what happened 3 years ago, man. They've already forgot what happened on the earth, and they already forgot how weak, or even especially among these Christians, they already forgot how weak they showed themselves to be, right? And how lack of faith they showed themselves to have, because they're part of the same people that taught that stuff, right? And these people are going to take the CHIP, and there's a judgment for taking the CHIP. Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9, and the third angel followed them with a loud voice saying, and the third angel followed them saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his charagma in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture, into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Now that's a very dishonorable way to go. That Yahweh Shai is going to see you burn and watch it and be enjoying seeing you burn, right? That's a very dishonorable way to go, man. Now, let me read this. Because all these Christians love to go to John 3rd chapter, 16th verse, right? But what about this verse from John the 3rd chapter? What about this? John chapter 3 and verse 12. If I have told you earthly things and ye believe not, how shall ye believe if I tell you of heavenly things? Now, the prophecy of Revelation 13, 16 to verse 17 is actually an earthly thing, right? Nothing heavenly needs to take place in order for that to happen. Now, heavenly things are causing it to happen, right? The spiritual realm has decided that that's going to take place on the earth, and there's nobody on earth that can stop it from happening because it's prophecy. It's destiny for the world to go through it, right? It's been predestined for the world to go through this, but it's an earthly thing, right? Payment methods on the earth is an earthly thing. People make payments and people buy and sell things in the earthly realm, right? People ain't buying and selling things in the heavenly realm, buying goods and selling goods in the heavenly realm, right? That's an earthly thing, But if you can't believe that this earthly thing is going to take place to where there becomes a new method for buying and selling, right? That there becomes a new method for buying and selling, and that without having that method, you're done for, right? Then what's the point of you? Like, you're just going to take that thing then, right? Let me read it again. If I've told you earthly things and you believe not, how shall you believe if I tell you of heavenly things? So if somebody scoffs at that prophecy, then how can you really expect that person to believe that they're gonna be immortal? Or how can you expect that person to believe that Yahweh Shai turned water into wine? Or how can you expect that person to believe that a flood flooded the whole earth? Which even that, a flood flooding the whole earth is an earthly thing, right? That's actually really kind of an earthly thing, to be honest with you. Water coming from the heavens and water coming up from the ground. That's actually believable that that can happen. That's actually possible for that to happen. And if it rained enough for enough days continually over the whole earth at the same time, it would cause a worldwide flood. That's not even too much of a crazy thing to believe, right? But if you can't accept that if people can't accept those things, right, then they definitely ain't going to believe that Yahweh split the sea. They definitely ain't going to believe that Yahweh made Yahweh Shai be able to walk on water. And not only him, but one of his disciples also did that. They ain't going to believe that the Israelites was able to cast out demons from people. They ain't going to believe all these things. If you can't believe earthly things, you ain't going to believe heavenly ones. And most of these Christians think that it's a complete out of question that we could even be Israelites. That they don't believe that it's possible that the Negro, Latino, and Native American if there's even 1% chance that we could be Israelites, right? They don't even think that we could be the Israelites according to what those people in the land of Israel now are saying that they are. They don't even want to believe that we could be that way, right? They don't want to believe that. So if they think that that's completely unbelievable, then of course they're going to think that it's unbelievable, all these heavenly things that's spoken in the Bible. They don't believe those things really, because they can't even believe such a thing as your lineage decided purely by whoever the seed came from to make you, right? They'll understand it if you're talking about apples and oranges, tomatoes, bananas, fruit and veg. They'll understand, okay, a fruit, yeah, the seed of a fruit goes into any ground on the earth, right, which would represent a woman, and it turns into the fruit that it is. But when it comes to women, they're like, oh no, I'm half Ethiopian, and I'm 25% North Pole, and then the other variant is Eskimo tribe, and then after that I'm 3% Cherokee and all that BS. They'll say it like that, or they say you're half caste and all that BS. Oh, this guy's half caste. Oh, he's mixed raced, but you can't get a mixed seed from a human. The seed's a seed. The appearance can change, but the lineage still goes back to a particular person, which is where we get Revelation 7 and 9, right? Which when you go to Revelation 7 and 9, which is something that Christians don't know, all these people are Israelites. Revelation 7 and 9, and after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hand. And that's going to be a whole bunch of people that all go back to Jacob, right? And it's going to be a surprise in that day when we see how many different people and what different appearances that Jacob's lineage ended up turning into, right? We're going to see, man. But yeah, I thought I would do this video on the sea hitman, because a lot of people think that it's a joke, but when that prophecy comes to pass, that's the closest prophecy that we're waiting for, right? That's the closest earthly thing that we're getting ready to see, right? And when that happens, then the doctrine of the Israelites that are speaking a true doctrine is going to be magnified in the earth, and all these Christians are going to start running around trying to change up their doctrines all of a sudden, man. But the people that stood strong in that belief are going to have been the ones that was telling the truth from forever, because they didn't need to change their doctrine now that things have changed in the earth. All that's going to happen as time goes by for the Israelites is that their doctrine is going to be shown to have even more strength, right? And as more things start happening, then their strength of their doctrine is going to be shown even greater. And as Yahushua comes back and confirms his name to be Yahushua, then that's going to get rid of all these other doctrines because they don't believe that's the name. And they don't believe that the image that we've said Yahushua has is that image. And that's what's going to cause all these other doctrines to fall, man. And then Yahushua is going to confirm and let it be known who the real prophets were and who the people were speaking and in his name in truth were, and who was speaking in his Father's name and in truth were. Right? I'm going to end the lesson there. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Rakah Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Shalom.